Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today the Houston Rockets beat the San Antonio Spurs 118 to 106. And I'm going to be just real honest going into this video. What in the hell did I just watch in this game? What did I just witness with this basketball game? Honestly, I'm disgusted with the way that the Rockets finished this game and the way. Jock Landale, Reed Shepard, Nate Williams, Jayshawn Tate, and who was the other player? The other player on the floor was Cam Whitmore played in this game. And just to me, I'm just going to say this. I think it's, the way they played with the minimum amount of effort they showed within this game to the point where a 25-point lead turned into at one point a 10-point game. You could see they didn't care, and they could barely get the basketball up the court without it being an 8-second violation. Happened multiple times where they almost had an 8-second violation. Literally one time they did get called for an 8-second violation. If you're wondering why I'm so upset about all this, obviously the Rockets won the game. I'm really happy with the way this team played tonight. When I'm talking about the guys that were on the floor, Jabari was terrific tonight. Shooting wise, maybe he wasn't terrific, but rebounding and defensively, Jabari was great tonight. And then Thompson was fantastic. Dylan Brooks was fantastic. Sure, Şengün did not score much tonight, but was in foul trouble. He was good with his rebounding and his defense tonight. Jalen Green was incredible. And then you had guys off the bench like Jeff Green, who had a really good game. Also, Jayshawn Tate, when he was playing with the rotation players in this game, was really good. Steven Adams looked really good in this game. So, though, Aaron Holiday, just we're going over the guys that were out there for the Rockets and playing meaningful minutes tonight when the Rockets were playing their best basketball. The Rockets were up 101 to 75 going into the fourth quarter. The Rockets played some terrific basketball tonight. And shout out to the guys that played their asses off tonight. And that's why I'm upset around, about how the Rockets finished this game, because it's completely disrespectful to them. They go out there and they beat this Spurs team's butts. They just absolutely embarrassed them on the court tonight. And, I know this doesn't really matter, but it looks good at the end of the score if you beat a team by 25 points and not by 12 points. And it was silly, the amount of turnovers that turned into points at the end of this game with the San Antonio Spurs off of stupid, reckless mistakes by this Rockets team. I just think it's really disrespectful to the guys that played their butts off and were the reason why the Rockets won this game tonight. For those guys like Cam Whitmore, Reed Shepard, Jock Landale, and Cam Whitmore to go out there and show the least amount of effort you could have. Not only those guys, but you also this is your opportunity to shine and your opportunity to prove yourself to Ime Udoka, and you do that. It definitely doesn't look good. The only guy I will give exception to that was on the floor is Jayshawn Tate, because he wasn't that terrible. It was other guys making mistakes, like Reed Shepard had some terrible mistakes. He could barely get the basketball at the court. Cam Whitmore barely could get the basketball at the court when the Rockets got called for a 8-second violation. But the reason I'll give Jayshawn Tate some credit is because he did give the Rockets some really good basketball when he was playing with the rotation players tonight. He hit a big three for the Rockets, scored 7 points, had 6 rebounds, got some second chance rebounds as well, 2 offensive rebounds. So it gives some. We'll cut off the slack with Jayshawn Tate because he had some good minutes when playing with the rotation players, but it just does frustrate me a little bit. Because this would have been the Rockets' biggest win since either January 15th or January 18th. The Rockets have not had a win this large in point margin since the 15th against the Nuggets when they blew out the Nuggets or the Blazers. And those were some really big wins. And after that, a couple days after that, or maybe a week after that, the Rockets really started to struggle a little bit when the month of February started. Obviously, the end of January was a really big, time for the Rockets, but this has been a really bad month for this team, and they've had a lot of struggles and not a lot of dominant wins, and they did have that at the end of the month, near the middle of the month of January, and on the 15th and 18th had some dominant wins against the Nuggets and Blazers. And tonight was the first time this team has done that since then. It's been over a month. And you look at this game, the Rockets only won by 12. And one of the reasons that I think that also, upsets me a little bit is that, like, you got a lot of for the NBA fans that watched the entire basketball game like I did, or maybe most Rockets fans did, will know, the Rockets, they put a butt whooping on the Spurs tonight, and they put in their backups, and they just look horrendous after that. We got a lot of in the NBA. There are a lot of box score watchers that don't watch the games. Sometimes just watch highlights, and if they don't watch highlights or the games, they're just looking at the box scores and judging a team. And you look at this game tonight, and you didn't actually watch it, or you didn't actually watch the highlights because there are just box score watchers. The Rockets don't get the guys that played their butts off tonight and gave the Rockets the amazing first 3.5 quarters that they had. They don't get that credit. I mean, I think the first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter wasn't that bad. I think around the 7-minute mark when the Rockets pulled Jabari Smith Jr. and Thompson, that's when it started to get bad. And so it's no big deal. It's not like this kills the team or anything. I'm not acting like it's season over after this. It's just, to me, it's upsetting because this definitely can take your confidence down with the way the team finished the game tonight. And it definitely would have been great for the Rockets to have a 25-point win. They were up by 26, 20. They were almost up by 30 in this game. So the guys that I mentioned that were so good tonight were dominant tonight, and absolutely outstanding game. I'm going to go over some stats. Thompson, fantastic tonight. 25 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks. It was a rough night for him last night. He did a good job with defense, of course, which is something he does every night. And he was good rebounding, but scoring-wise, not much. I thought the Bucks had a really good defensive game plan against Thompson. And it's not often that that Thompson in a back-to-back has 2 bad games. Usually when the Rockets have a back-to-back, we'll see 1 good game and 1 bad game. And you know what? What I've seen is Thompson and the Rockets have a back-to-back. Usually the first night of a back-to-back, Thompson has a good game the first night of a back-to-back, and then the second night of a back-to-back, you kind of see like he doesn't have a lot of energy and he's not playing so well, at least all around not playing so well. It's kind of reversed with that. Yes, he did some good things last night when the Rockets beat the Bucks by 3 points, 197 against the Bucks. But tonight was his better night in the 2 games of the back-to-back. And he had 25, he had 9 rebounds, he had 5 assists, he had 2 blocks, shot 12 for 15, 1 for 3 from 3. If you look at his 2-point shot attempts, he was 11 for 12 tonight. Outstanding night for Thompson. Jabari Smith Jr., like I mentioned, the shooting was not great tonight. 4 for 15, 0 for 5, but his 10 rebounds were huge for the Rockets in this game in his 32 minutes. And had a solid job defensively in this game for the Rockets. Alperen Sengun, this was a rough night. His double streak does end. It was at 5 games. That's tough to see. But he only played 19 minutes. He got in some foul trouble in the first half. One thing that really pissed me off, Alperen Sengun got his 3rd foul. It was off Jeremy Sohan got a rebound. And Alperen Sengun barely even touched him. And Jeremy Sohan acts like Sengun pushed him and kind of slips back. It was a total flop by Jeremy Sohan. And I know the NBA can go back and look at these things and see if it was a flop, and you could find a player for that. Not gonna lie, I kind of hope Jeremy Sohan gets flop, gets potentially fined for that, because it costed Alperen Sengun the rest of his second half. And that's why he only played 19 minutes in this game. I mean, Sengun probably plays 25, 26 minutes in this game tonight if that BS 3rd foul call was called on him. But he had 11. I think the really impressive thing about him tonight is he had 11 boards and only played 19 minutes. But didn't get much offensive opportunities. I mean, he only took 5 shot attempts, but if we're going to be honest, he was 1 for 5. It wasn't like... He had 7 of his 9 points tonight were at the free throw line. He was 7 for 8 at the free throw line. So it wasn't an amazing night for him. We go to a guy like Jalen Green, who had another good game tonight. 21 points in 28 minutes, 9 for 17 from the floor, 3 for 8 from 3. Really good. Also 7 rebounds and 4 assists. Really good game for Jalen Green. You'd love to see him have a performance like this. And then Dylan Brooks, I thought was the best player on this floor tonight, besides Amin Thompson. I'm sorry, Jalen Green. Jalen Green had a great game tonight, but Dylan Brooks, the impact he brought to this game was fantastic. 7 for 13, 5 for 8 from 3, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. I'm not saying Jalen Green was bad or anything. He was great, and both guys were great. I just thought, Dylan Brooks made some huge shots for the Rockets in this game tonight. We go off the bench. Like I mentioned, Jeff Green played another big game for the Rockets. We saw against Utah the other night. He was really good, had 16 points against Utah, 20 minutes a night for Uncle Jeff, and 6 for 12, 1 for 4 from 3, 13 points and 3 rebounds. Jeff Green definitely needs to get more minutes with this Rockets team. Cam Whitmore got 5 minutes in this game, and we saw the disaster that happened in this game. Jayshawn Tate, yes, was he a part of that ending group? But it's not like if you look at Cam Whitmore, Jock Landale, Nate Williams, Reed Shepherd, the other guys that were part of that group, they had just gotten into the ball game. Like Reed Shepherd played the last 6 minutes, Nate Williams played the last 5, Jock played the last 8, and Cam played the last 5 minutes. Both of those guys all 4 of those guys did not have an impact on the way this game went for the Rockets. But Jayshawn Tate did. Sure, he was a part of the group the last 6-7 minutes that was horrendous, but he still played like another 16, 17 minutes in this game tonight outside of that terrible stretch. And he did some really good things to the Rockets when they needed him to. Like I said, he hit a 3, had 6 rebounds, had 2 offensive boards, had 2 assists, 7 points. So, good night for Jayshawn Tate. And then Steven Adams got some minutes tonight. I was a little concerned about Steven Adams last night because Jock Landale and Jeff Green both played last night, and it said that Steven Adams was a DNP, but he really wasn't playing because it was his first night of a back-to-back, and the Rockets wanted to play him tonight. But it was weird because I don't know why it just didn't say out with injury. Like if you looked at the box score last night, it said obviously Fred VanVleet's injured, so it said Fred's injured. It didn't say that with Steven Adams. I was like, is he just out of the rotation? What's going on? Because honestly, that has kind of been the case. I mean, he did not play on Saturday against Utah because it was the second night of the back-to-back. But the night before that against Minnesota, he only played 5 minutes against the Timberwolves with Jabari Smith Jr. having his first game back tonight. So this was the most we've seen Steven Adams play since Jabari Smith Jr.'s return on Friday night, since the All-Star break. Even the last game before the All-Star break against Golden State, he barely played. This is the most we've seen Steven Adams play since the second. I think this is the most we've seen Steven Adams play since the Rockets played. I want to say since the Rockets played the Suns and beat the Suns right before the All-Star break on a Wednesday. That was 2-3 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago. So this is the most we've seen Steven play in a long time. He shot 2 for 6, 4 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He was great tonight for the Rockets. Huge impact. Sure, he didn't score a lot, but had 5 assists for a big man who only played 19 minutes and had 2 steals and 2 blocks. I think one of Steven Adams' best all-around games this season. Sure, he's had more games. He's had a lot of better overall rebound and point games, but we're looking at everything he does, whether it's all of we're gonna combine his facilitating, his defense, his points, and his rebound all together. This is one of his best games of the season. Just like combine that all together with the 4 stocks he had and the 10 rebounds and assists he had as well. But Jock Landale played 8 minutes, 5 points, 3 rebounds. And then Aaron Holiday played 16 minutes, shot 1 for 4, 2 points. You want to go to some of the turnovers the Rockets had? At the end of the game, you want to go look at turnovers the Rockets had. Cam Whitmore had 1 turnover. Reed Shepherd had 1. Nate Williams had 1. There were some stupid turnovers that the Rockets had at the end of this game that led the Spurs back in this game. But great night for Amin Thompson, Dylan Brooks, and Jalen Green. Great job by Jabari Smith Jr. with the rebounding tonight. Şengün was great with the rebounding as well in his defense. In his very limited playing time, one of his lowest minute games of the season outside of the Raptors game where he got injured. Great game from Uncle Jeff Green. Great game from Steven Adams, and the Rockets get a huge win, 118-106. Let me know your thoughts on the Rockets, 118-106 win in the comment section, and peace out. Go Rockets.